Well, I feel honored to have Toph as the first guest of my Chinwag series. So,
Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that, man.
and the Chinwag series is only when I bring Australian guests on. So you're the first. You're starting the whole thing out. And I learned the term Chinwag from my Australian. It's one of the few words I can say. So welcome to the show. Now
Thank
you
you, mate. I
you
appreciate it.
you do a lot of sports, right?
I do indeed, yes.
Right. So what are you into?
Usually long distance running.
Right.
I used to do a lot of swimming and a little
Right.
bit of cycling, but it's mainly running.
And then so obviously when you were doing the sports, you came up with the idea for this book that you put out called "When the Shot Hits the Fan." So obviously something happened where you hit a fan during one of these sporting events. So that's right, right? Is that what happened?
No, not really. So it's when shit hits the fan. So everyone has a plan until shit hits the fan.
Well, wait,
It's
wait.
just
The book is called "When the Shit Hits the Fan," not when the shot. Because I saw the bomb, I thought it was that's different.
no,
Okay,
that's an exclamation mark actually. So
totally missed that. So tell me about the book.
yeah, so it's there is sport element in there, but it's about practical resilience, which is
Okay,
this
well,
concept I kind of
that's just as important.
yeah. It is totally, and it was about my journey overcoming mental health that I wanted to write this book to. I wanted it to the gift I wanted to give that so when someone had read this, they had something very practical that they can take away for their mental state, whether they were stuck in some sort of rut or if they wanted to do something where they can break their own limits. Right, we have our own different perceptions of limits. We have our own different perceptions of adversity. So I wanted to use a very strong anecdote and a lot of practical advice that what I used to overcome for myself. I just happen to use endurance sports as a gateway for myself. That's just because I just fell into it. But
Well, then let
it
me ask
was
you this. Let me ask you this on a resilience side, right?
yeah.
What do you see as the major block that people have from once they can ask for help? Because I know that's the big block. A lot of people have trouble asking for help. Once they can
Yep.
ask for help, what do you tend to see the biggest block is?
It could be a mix of things, right? Sometimes it's like the vulnerability of like the matter of opening up about it. Sometimes you just got to let people just declutter their own mind, and sometimes there are things in there that are causing termites, mental termites that are just rusting and eating away. So it's about being that person there for and just being that catalyst to help them open up. And then sometimes then you have a little more clarity when you can do that. And now it's the next step of building the resilience back in. And there's a few techniques you can use. And for myself, I just made sure I had really, um, my health was very degraded, Roger. So it was, um, I focused on the physical health and that kind of holistically put me back together. But it was a matter about being as true to myself because when I was going through a lot of my mental slumps, I was kind of taking it out on everyone, right? I wasn't really appreciating what adversity was because so much was happening to me at once
Right.
that I didn't realize maybe until I flicked a switch and thought maybe this is meant to be. And it wasn't until I realized everyone in life goes through stress. I
Well,
was
that's
going
right.
through an egocentric paradigm,
That's right.
thinking I had it, man, I've got this really bad. And it's not until you come across like one of my dear friends, he's missing his arms. And I'm thinking, how is he always smiling? It's not until I come across people like that where they become they become mentors pretty much because they
Right.
teach me how to, they've gone through more hell than anyone. And if they can still be smiling, surely I can be too.
Well, I think that's really important because I think that the truth of the matter is that when somebody's in pain, they're in it.
Yes.
They're in it, and
Mm,
and it's very real to them, even though it may not be real to outsiders, right? And
yeah,
so you have to have some empathy, for
that's
that.
it.
I mean,
Like if you want to really sum it up into one thing, it's perspective, straight up.
that's great.
Perspective is the one word. It's so powerful. Perspective can make you want to grow to new heights. You can think in other people's shoes and think in with empathy. And the same thing, if you're really struggling, you can go. That's why, like, I've noticed that the people that have gone through their rock bottom, they're a little bit more empathetical to others because you
Right.
never want to impede that pain on anyone else. You like, I don't want anyone to go through that pain what I just went through.
Right.
If you see someone, especially someone you deeply care about,
Right.
you always got your hand out there to offer a hand to guide them out.
Well, you're doing great work. So what I would want all
I
of my
appreciate that, man.
I would want my connections in Australia to think about is having you come in over the next couple months as a speaker. So let's hope some of them reach out to you because I think you'd make a great speaker, great motivational speaker for many businesses and just
I
people
appreciate that, man.
that need to lift up. So we'll let them know how to get in touch with you. But thank you for being the inaugural guest on the Chinwag show. And thank you for clearing up that it was when the shit hits the fan and not when the shot hits the fan.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I had a big race over the weekend, right? I had a 100K ultra marathon in the Blue Mountains,
Right.
and about the book, it's like it teaches you that anything that like we all have a plan when things go right, but no one has a plan when things go wrong.
Right.
And in that race, I put no expectations on myself, but part of me, I'm glad I had that because that way I could be mentally prepared for anything that could go wrong. And a lot of things did go wrong, right? Like it got to about 1 degree Celsius or 30 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever, 32, whatever it is. It was freezing and I hadn't trained in that weather for a long time. There was about 7,000 stairs as well as 14,500 feet of climb throughout the whole race. So it was, at the end of it, it's like you just embrace that shit.
Right.
And you go, I've just done the toughest thing I could have done today. So when I come out of it,
you said 100K, right?
it was 100 kilometers, yeah, or
Yeah,
60,
I haven't run
62
100K.
mile.
I haven't run 100K in my life. So good for you. But can you go? How many people do this race?
That one is one of the biggest races in the world, actually. It's like the 4th or the 5th largest trail race in the world. There was 6,000 people there over the whole weekend.
That's amazing. Well,
like,
and you made it through.
I did.
Well, thank you so much. And you're the best first guest of this show that I've ever had.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for having me.